Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to today's teacher feature. Today we've got Lindsay Straw and Jordan Santiago, and they're going to talk to us about their upcoming Celtic Ensemble prep class. That's going to start July 7th, and it'll be 6:30 to 7:45 on Tuesdays. Hello, everybody, and here they are. Let's get conversation.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you guys?
We're good.
Yeah.
Where are you guys coming in from?
Just our home, our living room.
Taking
Nice.
a break from my busy day of playing Mario Kart for this.
It's a tough life, right? Is it okay, but is it Mario Kart 64?
No, it's great. I just got it last night.
Oh, got it. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for talking to me about your new class. I mean, it's sort of the class you guys have been teaching before, but it's a little revamped, right?
Yeah, we're going to try something a little bit new. So I've done it in the past with my friends Kara Frankowitz and Dana Cardy, and obviously they live in JP and they don't live here with me, unlike Jordan. So that'd be fun doing it with the two of us because we had a really nice time doing our Celtic accompaniment workshop last month. Yeah, last month. And yeah, we just wanted to try teaching it together and kind of taking it in a little bit of a different direction. So often what we've done with the ensemble in the past has been to sort of focus on more like Irish session tunes. And since Jordan and I are kind of dabblers who like to, dip our toes into different styles of music, we thought it'd be fun to try sort of applying our approach to the ensemble. So we're going to do a bunch of different types of Celtic tunes, and we're going to also kind of dig more into the ways that we would like arrange them for ourselves and how that might apply for other people. So it might be, we're hoping that it'll be kind of like a new thing for the students who have done it in the past. They'll be sort of like building on what we've done with them, and it'll offer sort of some new ideas for folks who might be coming to it for the first time.
Awesome. That's great. I've got like a couple questions for you guys about you as people and musicians, and also some about your class. The first one is, how did you guys both come to your instruments that you're playing now? What's the journey like?
For me, it was just finding a guitar in my house and making my mom take us to get it restrung and fixed up, and that was kind of it. For you, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, musically, you had like a lot, you've been dabbling in a bunch of other things.
Yeah, I guess. All sort of like very guitar focused though.
Yeah. Well, for me, mandolin was like I feel like unless you're playing bluegrass, you never start off with mandolin. It's like I started playing. This is a little bit convoluted, so I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole. I started playing violin when I was really young, and then I picked up guitar later because I thought that was cooler. And then I joined a band when I was in my early 20s, and there was already a guitar player, and I really didn't want to play violin, but they really wanted me to play violin. So I bought an electric mandolin to try to have a different voicing, and then it wasn't until years later that I picked up the acoustic mandolin. So it's just sort of what ended up happening. I really wanted to play violin and guitar and keep those kind of separate, and then I found that mandolin was kind of melding both of them together, and I think it's the superior instrument.
Them's fighting words, I'm sure. Wow, I didn't realize you started, like the first mandolin that you had was an electric mandolin. That is very unusual.
Right.
Yeah. And Lindsay, you play everything, right? Like you play guitar and octave mandolin and right?
Pretty much just that, yeah. I do play Bazooka a bit, but not as much.
Right.
Just like mentally, I can't like focus on too many things. And guitar has just so much to work on as it is. So I've kind of focused a little bit more in the last few years, but yeah.
Lately, I've sort of taken a liking to Lindsay's Bazooka.
Yeah,
so
the Bazooka mantle.
She's handed it on.
So what's the difference between a bouzouki and an octave mandolin?
For the most part, they're very similar. The Bazooka tends to be a bit longer scale, and a lot of people who play Bazooka either do GDAD tuning or ADAD tuning. So those are both like open, droney tunings that are great for Irish music and great for Celtic music. But Jordan obviously tends to do mandolin tuning, which works obviously just as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing around with both of the tunings, but the Bazooka, as far as what I think the main difference is Bazooka tends to have those octave strings on the bottoms that the whole thing kind of sounds like one range almost. Whereas the octave mandolin has double courses of the same string.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got it. Cool. What music did you guys grow up listening to?
A lot of classic rock from the 80s. My mom is a child of the 80s, or an adult of the 80s, I guess.
I grew up listening to mostly classical music, but because my parents had that going on in their house. But my dad really listened to rock, and I decided I could make that early on. So I went with a more classical. And then lately, I've discovered rock in a new way, and I've become really appreciative.
Yeah.
Mostly because of Lindsay.
And probably because of the guys at work.
Yeah, I also work at a shop called the Music Emporium, and they all really like rock and roll music. So it's either like get into it or get out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize they were so into rock music at the Music Emporium. That's awesome.
I've come around to the rock end of things, but they go a step further. They're really into like metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, once the store closes and then they just turn on the back on. No, I haven't come around to that yet, but it's maybe some.
Maybe one day we'll be open-minded.
It's always fun to like find out what venues or stores play after hours, like the servers at Passim have definitely like blasted some Beyonce after we've closed our doors to the public to just get in the mood to clean everything up and get out. But that's so amazing. Did you guys have any overlap of like favorite rock groups that you heard growing up? Or
I was really into like Bare Naked Ladies. I was like a
BNL
Smash Mouth. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, I kind of go for more of the 70s stuff myself. But
we find her later, I think, in life. But yeah, our earlier stuff. We both have guilty pleasures, I think. Like I really like I'll never admit it to a lot of people, but I like Dave Matthews Band, and I like Fish. I like but I don't, if anybody's talking to me about it.
So part of Celtic Ensemble prep will be a Celtic interpretation of a Fish song, I believe,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. The first one is when you crash into me.
Oh man! Oh, that's so funny. I just talked to Emily and Chris on Sunday, and Dave Matthews Band came up. So this is the new connecting line between the teacher features.
Yeah, it's a great band. They're all great
really
players.
Yeah.
Like, I showed it to Lindsay, and she's like. I'm like, just listen to it. Just listen to it. And she's like, this is really good. It's really good. Can't say anything
Can't argue.
Totally. So next question is, what's it been like teaching online?
It's been interesting. I've with some students, it's worked really, really well. Like I've got a couple fingerstyle guitar students, and because the music that we're working on is more solo music, it works kind of nicely just to have it sort of be like a feedback and like kind of toss ideas back and forth. The ensemble's been a little bit more interesting. We've sort of adapted it to sort of like what we did what I did with Dan was we'd pass the tunes out, and then students would learn at their own pace, obviously, and then we'd sort of treat each class as like a feedback session. So that worked pretty well too. And I guess it'll be kind of an experiment to see how we're going to do this, because we do want to have it be a bit more creative and collaborative. And TBD, I guess. But I think it'll be really fun.
Yeah, I mean, we've both been, I guess, teaching via Zoom, private lessons, people, and that. I mean, to me, it was a little tricky at first, but like once you get into the groove of it and you kind of figure out how things work, to me, I mean, nothing's ever as good as in person, right? But it's almost there.
Yeah.
And in some ways, you get, with my students, like sometimes they'll be like, hey, could you make a little video of that thing that you showed me in class or something, and you can record them pretty easily. So there's these days, I feel like there's actually, just solo teaching. There is actually a benefit to teaching online that you maybe don't get in person. But with this, group ones are I think can be a little bit trickier. But I think the goal we're going to have with this one is to actually get people. But one of the we can play together. We're going to try to get people to play along with us.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, tougher if you have two people leading it from separate.
Yeah, that's kind of why I thought where we wanted to try this was because people could hear the two of us playing together, playing both accompaniment, both the melody, and fleshing out the arrangement a bit more, so it gives them a little bit more to play along with. And the other thing I was going to say about like the teaching online thing is it's definitely made it more necessary to be really organized and to put a lot more material online, which is great because that obviously gives students a lot to work with on their own. And I think that side of it is a really good thing.
Yeah, and we plan on all the tunes that we're teaching. We're going to do our best to record it. We've invested in a really nice camera and stuff. We're going to try to record those tunes so that people, but like while people are learning them, so they can go and listen. And try to encourage like listening to. In the past we've written things out a lot. I think we're still going to do that, but we're going to really encourage the listening aspect of it.
That's great. Yeah, having those like secondary elements of teaching, is really, really helpful. And I think the question I've gotten the most from students is, well, how are ensembles going to work when there's like a lag, from Zoom? And I think it's really very creative solution that the teachers have to have everybody like pause or not pause, sorry, mute the students so that they can play along and they don't have to worry about the lag, and it just sounds great.
Yeah, and one of the things I want to try this semester too is so like obviously people will play with us, and I want to encourage everybody to like maybe, if you're a fiddle player and you're used to playing the melodies, like try working out some like drones or some, some chordal things, and we can, we'll do our best to help people craft those for themselves or write parts out for them, and they can practice both like those kind of creative arranging parts, but also just playing the tune. So yeah, it'll be kind of fun. And we also want to try like doing a recording project at the end where we have everybody contribute a part, and we'll mix them all together and try to make it all work. So that'll be really fun.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to that. That's awesome. Next question is, who's the class for? Like, what experience level do you think would you like to be in the class?
You kind of have the best answer for this.
Yeah, this one I think is more geared towards intermediate, intermediate to maybe advanced. Whereas if you're already really comfortable. If you know some different tune types, you're comfortable listening and learning or reading, and you can pick them up and play them sort of over and over without any sort of interruption. You're gonna appreciate this a little bit more because we're not gonna spend as much time on maybe like how to learn the tunes, but we're gonna spend more time on arranging the tunes and try different tactics that you can use in different situations. So yeah, that's not to say that you maybe wouldn't get anything from being a beginner taking the course, but it probably wouldn't. You're not going to get the optimal amount.
That makes sense. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. That's okay. Yeah, just some past experience. Like any of the students that we had in the past, I think this would be great for them too. So folks who already do play some tunes, or maybe already have a good command of their instrument but aren't as familiar with Celtic music in general, but want to like learn Celtic tunes and want to learn the sort of the language and the harmonic structure and stuff like that. Like this would be great for them too. So I think it kind of fits across a lot of different skill levels. Yeah,
and for me personally, like I'm pretty new to this. This class is going to have to be for me, because I played a lot of Irish stuff with Lindsay, but Lindsay has been, the stuff we do is pretty predominantly Irish, and I'm looking forward to expanding my repertoire. Lindsay's got all this knowledge of all these different tunes, but I've sort of come at this from like a more like jazz or bluegrass background, and it was a little tricky picking it up at first, but after I did, it's really become part of my my vocabulary to learn these tunes. It really helped my picking, and so there's if you're advanced or intermediate or advanced in other ways, this could still probably.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Last question, and then it would be really wonderful if you guys could play us a tune. What are you listening to these days in COVID land?
What have I listened to recently? I feel like my COVID soundtrack has been the Penguin Cafe Orchestra, which is weird because it's like, it feels kind of like ethereal and like not like super human, I guess. It kind of feels like a little I don't know, artificial in some weird ways, but I really like it. What else? What have you been listening to?
I mean, I always get obsessed with like one album at a time, and then I have like my supplementary albums. But the 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 one I've been obsessed with is the Danish string quartets. Last week, they took all these all these Danish, traditional Danish folk music and a bunch of arrangers arranged stuff. I mean, it's all great material, and the arrangements are amazing and awesome. But like their tone is just like, it's like the perfect like modern quartet tone. So I've been nerding. Pandemic is the time to nerd out, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what happened. Yeah. And then video game soundtracks.
And lots of Julian Lodge.
Yeah, but he's a constant.
Yeah.
Pretty much at any time, if what are you listening to, Julian Lodge.
And other stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But, what I haven't listened to yet is I get the new Goat Rodeo thing came out.
Oh, right.
I heard 1, 2 from it, and I keep on meaning to listen. I bet that's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from it yet, so I need to listen to that. I've been listening to the Bob Dylan album a bunch recently. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it came out on Friday. I think the same day as the Goat Rodeo. So lots of good music coming out right now. What was the name of the quartet that you mentioned? They're Danish quartets, but what's the quartet's name?
That's the Danish string quartet. That's what that is.
That's easy to remember. Well, awesome.
The one string quartet from that's Danish, I guess.
The one and only.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you guys so much for sitting down and talking with me. For anybody who's just tuning in now, this is Lindsay and Jordan. They're going to be teaching the Celtic Ensemble prep class. That'll be Tuesday nights, starting July 7th from 6:30 to 7:45.
It's not 8 to 9:15?
It is. I'm so sorry. July 7th. We've got all the information at passing.org. You can find links to find the classes and register online on our bio in our bio. So check that out. And yes, July 7th. And now Lindsay and Jordan are going to play us a quick tune. Thank you.
So here's what I think we'll probably teach at some point during the semester. It's a great old march that I learned from my friends Allison Perkins and Nick Brown. It's called Burns March.
Thank you guys so much. Everybody sign up for their class, 8 o'clock on Tuesdays, starting July 7th. Thanks, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
You too. Talk to you soon.
All right, see you later.
Bye.